Alright, I got this video. Check this out. What's going on in China right now? Claiming they can't access their money from out the ATMs, and the government is controlling their money in the ATMs right now and their finances or whatever. I haven't really even watched it all the way through, but I'm gonna watch it with you guys right now, and then want to hear y'all input on it. This is allegedly, but it's from a China source, so we'll see. But let's get into it. And if y'all ain't, make sure y'all hit subscribe on that page for your boy. We trying to get up there, trying to hit 2,000, 3,000, whatever thousand. Appreciate it. Drop them likes too.
Everyone, come take a look. Post it on Douyin. I'm telling you, how can they do things like this? I got kicked out of the police station over just 200,000 yuan. They asked me why I was transferring 200,000 yuan.
A woman in Longhua, Shenzhen, went to a bank to transfer 200,000 yuan, but was reported to the police and later taken to the station for questioning. A blogger commented that banks often justify such actions by claiming they are protecting customers, but this excuse no longer holds water. Nowadays, it's difficult for ordinary people to open an account, withdraw money, or make transfers. Even increasing withdrawal limits is a hassle. It feels like the money in your bank account isn't yours. Endless restrictions come into play when you try to access your funds. Preventing fraud has become a catch-all excuse. If we can't control our own money, is it even ours anymore? Are banks here to serve the public or limit us? Restrictions on withdrawals have become increasingly common across China in recent years. Yesterday, I called the bank to schedule a cash withdrawal of 300,000 yuan. When I got there today, the staff asked me why I needed the money. I said it was to hand out bonuses to my employees. They asked, "Can't you just transfer it?" I told them, using cash feels different from transferring money. Then they asked, "How many employees is this for?" I said about 10 or so. They questioned me again. "You're giving 300,000 yuan to just 10 people?" I explained that only part of it was for bonuses and some would be kept for next month. They asked if I had proof, a payroll record stamped by the company. They wanted to know my identity and what kind of business I ran. When I started to get impatient, they told me withdrawing cash is stricter now. Honestly, even if I had proof, why should I have to show it to you? This is my money, right? Every time I withdraw cash, it feels like I'm being interrogated. You say you're afraid of me getting scammed, but I'm here in person. If I really get scammed, that's on me, but I don't think that's the real issue. It's hard to tell what kind of industry banks are in anymore. They say they're in the service industry, but their actions don't reflect that at all. Mobile transfers and cash withdrawals require so much scrutiny, it's exhausting. Back when Jack Ma was around, at least he kept them in check. In October 2020, billionaire Jack Ma publicly criticized Chinese regulators, leading to
So trip off that real quick. Like, why was they questioning dudes so much like that? And then they saying that it's getting stricter to withdraw money. So what are y'all restricting? What are y'all getting more stricter for? What's going on? Why are y'all needing to do that? That's crazy. What they getting ready for? Alright, y'all drop something. Let me know. I ain't gonna keep pausing it like everybody be doing though. I got you.
the suspension of Ant Group's IPO and his eventual loss of control over the company. Ant Group had posed a significant challenge to state-owned banks.
I put my money in your bank. Now, when I want to use it, you tell me I can't? I'm not from you. This is my own money.
Another man tried to withdraw 300,000 yuan from his bank, but faced repeated delays. He asked, "If I make an appointment today, can I withdraw the money tomorrow?" The staff told him he had to book the appointment by 3:30 p.m. He asked again, "If I book now, can I get the money tomorrow?" The staff repeated that he could only book the following day. The man was confused about why he couldn't make an appointment right away. The bank staff told him, "There needs to be a certain time for that." Frustrated, he said, "Why is it I can deposit money instantly, but when I urgently need to withdraw it, I have to wait for days? Even if I make an appointment now, I won't get the money by Monday. What's going on? I can't even withdraw 300,000 yuan?" In Dongguan, Guangdong, an elderly man was denied access to his funds for a medical emergency without proving the source of the money. "It's my money. Who does this money belong to? The bank manager or someone else? Why can't I access my own funds? My son wired this money from Shanghai. Can't I wire it back? You could check if you want. Call the police if necessary. Angry, the man continued. What you're saying makes no sense. Get your manager. Is the manager not a human being? This is protected by the Constitution. Who says I can't transfer my own money? If I can't access the funds and someone dies because of it, who will take responsibility? Despite the urgency of his request, the money was for a medical emergency. The bank staff insisted on following new anti-fraud regulations, ignoring his pleas. A woman trying to withdraw 25,000 yuan, but after 20 minutes of verification calls, there was no success.
I had 25,000 yuan in my account, and it took 20 minutes of endless phone calls to verify before I could withdraw it. I said my spouse was in the hospital. They asked, which ward? Even if I'm not in the hospital, I just want to use my money. Why can't I withdraw it? 20 minutes just for 25,000 yuan. I couldn't get the money. Call after call for verification. This is what happens at the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. They can't catch the real scammers, but regular folks like us get questioned endlessly.
Hey, just think if you had to do that. If you wanted to get $20 or $10 off, you had to sit on the phone for an hour just to verify it's your shit.
When we try to withdraw money.
A woman went to withdraw cash for employee salaries, but the staff suggested bank payroll services instead.
工作人员问我取多少，
Today I went to withdraw 100,000 yuan. The staff asked if I had an appointment. I did. They checked and asked why I needed the money. I said for payroll. Then they told me the bank could handle payroll for me. I declined, but they kept explaining how their service reduces risks. They asked how many employees I had. I said around 10. Then they told me their payroll service costs 35 yuan per person, totaling 400 to 500 yuan for 10 employees.
On September 28th, a video of a customer in Huizhou, Guangdong went viral. He was initially allowed to withdraw only 3,000 yuan from a 100,000 yuan deposit at the Bank of China. The full withdrawal required third-party verification, including IDs and transaction records. The customer explained that bank staff asked about the source of the money. He said it was an urgent transfer from a friend who was present at the time. They provided transaction records and ID photos, but the bank demanded the original ID. His friend had to return home to get it before the transaction could be processed. He noted that if his friend had lived far away, the delay would have rendered the emergency funds useless. The Bank of China later stated these restrictions were anti-fraud measures, sparking public debate. Many questioned if these measures served the public or merely created unnecessary hurdles. In Changchun, a woman couldn't withdraw less than 100,000 yuan from Jilin Bank without police approval. Bank restrictions have even led to vandalism, such as a January incident at a rural credit cooperative in Guizhou province. Increasing public distrust has driven some to withdraw their savings en masse, leading to frequent conflicts. As early as October 4th, 2023, a Chinese bank customer posted a video saying, "I have no control over my own money. The bank does. The bank is the biggest thief." Another person shared their experience saying, "I went to handle some banking, and after a bunch of paperwork, they told me to sign something. I asked what it was. Turns out it was for opening a personal pension account. I told them that's not why I was there. Did I agree to this? They just went silent, no explanation or apology. If I hadn't caught it in time, it would have been done without even me realizing it. Banks need serious reform." An overseas customer added, "When you deposit money, no one asks about the source, but when you withdraw it, they want to know everything. Don't you know that putting money in a Chinese bank means it only goes in, not out? Your wealth, even your body, belongs to the party. They can requisition it without compensation. Once you deposit it, it belongs to the party state." Criticism continued with, "If you can't even freely deposit and withdraw, how can they talk about internationalizing the yuan?" In 2022, a Chinese news outlet questioned banking officials about a viral video showing a customer at the Agricultural Bank of China being limited to withdrawing only 1,000 yuan. Bank insiders admitted that out-of-town bank cards might have restrictions, but typically withdrawals are not capped. They suggested such limits could be attempts to prevent customer attrition or internal risk control measures. For suspicious accounts, banks may impose various restrictions. Reports note that even for non-suspicious accounts, long unused cards may face limits or be frozen. In regions with high rates of telecom fraud, banks conduct more extensive reviews of personal accounts. These measures stem from a crackdown launched in October 2020 by China's State Council aimed at curbing fraud-linked bank accounts, known as a card severance campaign. However, analysts believe China's ongoing economic downturn, real estate crises, and shocks to the banking sector are the real reasons behind the withdrawal difficulties. Preventing telecom fraud may just be a convenient excuse. UCLA economist William Yu said one reason for controlling withdrawals is to limit the public's access to their money. He noted that banks might be facing liquidity risks driven by over a decade of aggressive growth, real estate bubbles, and rising debt. Now, China must confront these mounting problems, which he described as severe. Commentator Qing Peng suggested that authorities are effectively squeezing the public to patch up bad loans and delay a financial crisis. He said, in this process, the government isn't injecting money into small businesses or households. Instead, funds are directed towards local government debt to prevent financing platform collapses that could trigger banking crises. On October 29th, China's Ministry of Finance announced that local government debt had risen to approximately 44.7 trillion yuan by the end of September, with interest payments reaching 1 trillion yuan, the highest for the first 3 quarters in history. China's economy remains stagnant, burdened by a property crisis, surging local government debt, and weak consumer spending. Since late September, the government has introduced measures such as interest rate cuts and a 10 trillion yuan debt restructuring plan. However, these efforts have yielded underwhelming results. Local governments often use the funds to pay off high-interest, short-term debt rather than stimulating the economy, further deepening market disappointment. While the public struggles with access to their funds, the Chinese government is promoting the nationwide rollout of personal pension accounts. Yet public response has been lukewarm. Many see this initiative as another attempt to extract money from citizens. Depositors across China have reported incidents where banks open personal pension accounts on their behalf without their consent. In recent years, pensions have become a pressing issue in China due to the irreversible trend of an aging population. The strain on the country's pension system continues to grow. According to the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, the cumulative balance of the National Basic Pension Fund for urban workers could be depleted by 2035. By the end of this year, the total number of retirees is projected to reach 160 million, exceeding the population of Russia. The government now views personal pensions as a so-called third pillar.
Hold on, what? China is gonna have more retirees than the whole population of Russia? That sounds crazy. I don't, this is all allegedly, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't straight went to the source of the source of the source of the source. I'm just putting this out there because this sounds crazy, and this is my first time hearing it all the way through. I listened to probably about 2 minutes of it, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta post this. This is crazy. Alright, let's get back to it though. But what y'all think, man? This sounds crazy though. It sounds like China is not doing as good as we're being told, or they're putting all their focus and money and power and energy into like their military and everything. And it sounds like they own your money. That ain't your money. When you put that money in there, that's China money. I don't know. Allegedly.
Of China's pension system. On December 12th, China's Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security, along with 4 other departments, announced a nationwide expansion of the personal pension system starting December 15th. Previously piloted in 36 cities, including Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, the program will now cover the entire country. Officials stated that participation in the program is voluntary, allowing individuals to deposit up to 12,000 yuan annually into designated accounts to purchase approved financial products. However, depositors in multiple regions have recently reported that banks open personal pension accounts without their consent. Complaints have been filed against several major state-owned commercial banks. On December 15th, Mr. Liu from Jining City in Shandong Province received a text message from the Bank of China stating, "Your personal pension account has been successfully opened as per your request." However, Liu stated he had never applied for the account. "They opened it without my knowledge," he said. Mr. Yang from Tianjin reported a similar experience with Industrial Bank on the same day, receiving a message confirming the successful opening of a personal pension account. Yang also claimed he had never conducted any business with the bank. Chinese media reported 468 complaints on the Black Cat consumer platform regarding personal pension accounts being opened without the account holder's consent. These complaints involve several major banks, including the Bank of China, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, Agricultural Bank of China, Industrial Bank, and Bank of Communications. In another case, a customer's mortgage payment at Industrial Bank was mistakenly deposited into a personal pension account because the bank's app defaulted to that account. Conflicting explanations from bank staff left the customer unable to retrieve the money. Reports suggest that bank employees, under pressure to meet deposit targets set by their superiors, often paid out of pocket to meet quotas or opened accounts without customer consent. Criticism of these practices have been widespread. One person commented, "Bank employees are being pushed to the limit, and customers are the ones who suffer." Another remarked, "If fraud doesn't work, they'll just take it outright." Others noted, "History shows that whenever something is promoted as benefiting the majority, there's usually a hidden trap." Professor Xie Tian from the University of South Carolina, Aiken, stated that he believes few people are genuinely interested in the government's personal pension scheme. The entire financial sector is in crisis. This is just a way for the public to bail out big players in the financial industry. It's morally unacceptable, he said. Lai Jianping, a former Beijing lawyer and chairman of the Canadian Federation for a Democratic China, highlighted the challenges facing China's pension system. He noted massive deficits, a stagnating economy, and worsening living conditions for the population. To stave off a governance crisis, Lai explained, the government is now relying on personal pension accounts as a stopgap measure. At first glance, it seems harmless, Lai said. They tell you there's no obligation to deposit money, but you can simply ignore the account, but that's part of the strategy. Once the account is open, sooner or later, you'll start depositing money. This is how the Ponzi scheme grows. As more funds accumulate, financial institutions can move the money around. That's why banks are so eager to push this.
Yeah, so y'all go check that page out. It's what's the page? China Observer. Y'all go ahead and go over there and check that page out or whatever. Check that video out. You can check the full video out. So, but that sounds crazy. So y'all let me know y'all input. And it's my first reaction video, so let me know. Don't go too hard on me. But I got more coming though. I got some crazy ones coming. I got some funny ones coming. I got some crazy, funny, all good content for 2025. We're finna start off right. So y'all drop a subscribe for your boy and a like for your boy. And I'll see y'all next time.